AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you on a Monday morning. Nice, nice cool day. Let me check. The temperature's been cool. It says 54 right now and clear, which is nice. High's going to be 79 and low's about where we are right now. It looks like a beautiful day. So get out, take a walk, do all that kind of stuff. I was at, I was downtown Yuma for Saturday, December 6th. That was just kind of saying, you've already messed up, you can't go now, but I just want to congratulate the city of Yuma on their downtown Christmas to kick off the holiday season. Man, it was packed. That place was filled. It was 1 to 9 o'clock. It had live music and dancing, Santa Claus, lighting of the Christmas tree, a lot of vendors, ice cream, food, whatever you wanted. It was 8 hours of good time, and I know uh, my wife Helen was volunteering to help out with one of the booths down there. It was a tea party at a booth. But let me see, I didn't get there during the early part of it when all the dancing was going on. Dancers Workshop, glam dance, belly dance. Let me see, the Union High School band was there. They weren't dancing, I guess. They're probably playing music. Tree lighting was at 6:15. I think I caught that. And then you had free photos with Santa at the Children's Museum. I didn't do that. But congratulations. You guys did a great job. And man, it was packed. Security everywhere. I mean, there were visible police officers, throughout the whole place. So it's very peaceful, very nice. Everybody was in a good mood. So holiday season got kicked off. In fact, I was inspired to make sure I put up my Christmas tree the next day. So the Christmas tree is up after that. So we're well into the season. Today's the 7th. So it's still too early to go Christmas shopping. You got till the 25th. So I'm not yeah, I'm a procrastinator. I put it off. But Yuma looked great. The lights look great. The downtown area looked great. Really nice job. And it was free. I like free stuff. Phone lines are open 928-344-5258. I got a call from Daniel Gutierrez, and he might call in today and talk about it. As you know, he's run for the House seat that was occupied by Raul Grijalva, and then he ran a couple times. And as we know, Adelita Grijalva got that seat. Well, she put herself in the news. I say she was in the news. She put herself in the news. Yeah, she did it a lot when she was first elected because she went on so many talk shows complaining that she wasn't being sworn in while the government was shut down. And that's fine. That's fine. But she was trying to get a lot. Well, I guess she liked that limelight. She wants to keep doing that. Finding something relevant. So she went on the news to complain about getting pepper sprayed. She was pepper sprayed, according to her, during a raid at a taco restaurant in Tucson on Friday. ICE conducted that raid at Taco Grio, I don't know, in Tucson. And it's apparently a small restaurant, just a one-off mom and pop thing. And when it got raided, she said, when I presented myself as a member of Congress and asking for more information, I was pushed aside and pepper sprayed. She claims there were 40 agents in vehicles. May have been. Most of them masked. That would be common. But the community stopped them. Really? I find that hard to believe. She claimed that her and her staffers were pepper sprayed, and she was pushed despite identifying herself as Congress. Well, or a member thereof. She said, but well, I am fine. If that is the way they treat me, how are they treating other community members? That's something she put herself on a pedestal there. who do not have the same privileges and protections that I do. Tricia McLaughlin, an assistant secretary of Homeland Security, gave a response right away. She said, if her claim were true, this would be a medical marvel, but they're not true. She wasn't pepper sprayed. She was in the vicinity of someone who was pepper sprayed as they were obstructing and assaulting law enforcement. Two agents were seriously injured by the mob that Grijalva joined. Presenting oneself as a member of Congress doesn't give you the right to obstruct law enforcement. Daniel Gutierrez was there, by the way. He was at that event when they raided. He said, absolutely not true. Adelita Grijalva was not pepper sprayed. And I guess he put something out there on Facebook right away. It went viral. He videotaped the whole thing. Yeah, she wasn't pepper sprayed as she had claimed, according to him. Oh, one of my listeners writes me and says, Grijalva is no AOC or Crockett. She is trying. I never thought of that, but I bet that's true. I bet she is trying. It's a big moneymaker for Crockett and AOC. They rake in the dough being a obstructionist and ridiculous, and somehow that pays off with people paying her more money to do it. It's campaign donations, supposedly. They get that. Maybe Grijalva's trying to tap in on that and be more Crockett-like. I don't think I'd want to be Crockett-like or AOC-like, but it appeals to some. It appeals to some. But Gutierrez was there and filmed the whole thing, so you might hear from him at some point. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Good morning. Well, let me check my stuff. Oh, okay, it wasn't me. I was sometimes when I get here in the morning, somebody's been in the studio, may have pushed a button they shouldn't have or something, but no, it was, somebody got the wrong number and hung up on me. Phone lines are open, 928-344-5258. The Trump has changed a lot of national holidays. I just read that this morning. I don't know if you're aware of it, but every year there's a lot of federal holidays, a lot of stuff going on every year. I imagine someday there'll be more federal holidays than work days. But no, that won't happen. They're shifting around. That's what Trump just did. He made his birthday as a free day to get into parks and stuff, federal parks, national parks, those kind of things. So his birthday is free. Now his birthday happens to be June 14th, which is Flag Day. I don't know. Is it really Donald Trump Day or is it Flag Day? They can enter national parks for free, which is a big deal. I like that idea. Also, eliminating Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth. Well, that one was a surprise. Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth. Now he's not eliminating them from history, but eliminating the holiday. According to this article, it says it's already receiving criticism from civil rights leaders. Well, I guess so. I guess it would be. They're going to see that as racist, I guess. So he's undone those. The Democrat lawmakers say the removals undercut holidays that honor Black Americans' history and contributions. It's a notable break from the 2025 calendar, which we're in right now, which included Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Juneteenth, National Public Lands Day, and the kickoff of National Park Week, all of which disappeared for the 26th schedule. And I guess the president has the wherewithal to do that. I somehow thought that some of these days, Martin Luther King Day or Juneteenth or something, was something put into legislation, but apparently not. Now, Trump administration has added a slate of historically themed or presidentially aligned dates. Donald Trump's birthday, which is Flag Day on June 14th, and it's going to be celebrated. It becomes a free day for the first time uh, as the Constitutional Day, the 10th anniversary of the National Park Service, 110th, I'm sorry, 110th, and the birthday of Theodore Roosevelt. It's also shifting some observances to federal holidays with broader national recognition, including President's Day, Memorial Day, and a 3-day Independence Day. Veterans Day remains the lone date carried over from both years. Now, that's a dramatic change for the calendar. You're going to have to look at your calendar now and align your vacations or your days off accordingly. It's all being remade. Now, some civil rights leaders, I'm sure, say some. It says some in the article, but I bet it's all. All civil rights leaders have voiced opposition to the changes. National Parks Conservation Day spokesman Kristen Bringle said that the elimination of Martin Luther King Jr. Day is concerning, adding that the day had become a popular day of service for community groups that use it to conduct volunteer projects at the parks. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ.
Morning, OG.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the video down in Tucson of that girl
No.
accusing getting sprayed with tear gas or something? Did you see that?
I did not, but I talked to the guy who took it. That would be Daniel Gutierrez that took that video.
Well, she was so out of place. Let me explain to you, and I know you got some obese people out there, and some of it is not their fault. I understand that, even though they eat a lot. But I'm just saying, she looked so out of place. Now, I can understand a woman being in combat if she's wearing fatigues or pants, but not a long dress and a shawl and all this stuff, and waddling around as she was. Waddling. Look at the video. I am describing it as accurately as I can. She wasn't walking. She was waddling. You know what like a duck waddles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she was doing. And she had another fat guy trying to shield her from what? Like telling her not to do this. She must be retarded. So they thought they elected a retarded gal to replace her dad that embezzled $48,000 to cover his drunkenness on duty. Remember that?
Well, yeah.
All right, and on top of that, I'm still looking for that $10 million that Biden granted to the Democrats for the Del Sol Hotel. I'm looking for that, and you need to look for it too. See where it went. I'm interested.
All right. And that's on the Del Sol, yeah.
$10 million was a grant that came from Biden administration to Mark Kelly and Grahava. They were the ones that got into it. You and I, we talked about it a year before about a transportation depot. Remember, we talked about that.
Uh-huh. And
then the Democrats stole it from us and got the $10 million grant. So I want to know where the hell the money went. I don't want it to be ending up like a study or something. You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, talking about Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge, okay.
Yeah. Trump was talking about him at the Kennedy Center yesterday.
I missed it. Okay.
Well, Calvin Coolidge is the one that invoked the 1924 freeze on immigration.
I'm unaware.
That's who did it.
Yeah.
Well, Calvin Coolidge, let me see here, that Warren Harding died in office, was a Republican. And it's kind of confusing in that little era there, because all three Republicans were Republicans, and they all got slammed by being corrupt and no good by the Democrats, of course. But Warren G. Harding died. That started the bowling ball rolling. And Calvin Coolidge inherited his term. And so Calvin Coolidge, as a Republican, ran on his own and won that term. And then it came for a legitimate second term that Calvin Coolidge could have won. He declined to run, and Herbert Hoover took the reins, and he won. These are the three Republicans preceding FDR. And the Democrats have successfully slammed all three of them, if you recall. And in Hoover's short term, he's the guy that ramrodded the water rights up and down the Colorado River to get the Hoover Dam built.
Yep.
And Hoover, by the way, is not renowned for it, but he was the engineer that drew the blueprint of the thumbnail design for Lake Mead. Hoover did that as a sitting president. And he doesn't get any acclamations or anything. He doesn't. I don't know why. Even FDR, remember, he took the name Hoover Dam away from him and named it Boulder Dam, remember?
Yep.
And then it was Truman that renamed it back, and rightly so. He had to because Hoover deserves that dam being named after him. Because without Hoover, that dam to this day would not exist.
Right.
Well, Hoover was an engineer, and he made his money in Australia from silver mining and all that for engineering mines in Australia, right?
I don't know much about him. I don't.
Well, he's like 25 years old. He was already a multimillionaire. He made his money in silver in Australia. He came back and he worked as a commerce secretary for Coolidge and Hart. And then he took the reins and went and ran in his own right for president. That's how he came about. But he got blamed for the Depression. But what FDR did, he was an simplistic nightmare for the Constitution. Everything FDR did was blatantly against the Constitution. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Social Security, we're not supposed to have that either. Have we not had Social Security, because I've all been against it. Had we not had it, how many of these could have independently registered?
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit. You're a little bit in and out there, OG.
Yeah, okay. But how many? Am I better now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I just moved over that foot.
Okay, all right.
But I'm just wondering how many people without Social Security, families would have been rich, because that was back in the day when mineral rights, land was just Arizona was selling land as late as in the 50s, 25 cents an acre. So without Social Security, everyone could have got off their dead butts and went and made a lot of money.
Well,
and yes, and this has to do with the endowment that Trump wants to get going. Between now and the next 3 years of each birth being born in the United States, what is it, a $1,000 deposit?
Yeah.
This has to do with that.
They have to keep it invested till they're 18 or something. But
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no one told me this, but use your imagination. When my daughter graduated Baylor College of Medicine, and dough was $35 per troy ounce. I bought her $10,000 worth.
Mm-hmm.
She still has that gold to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's not. It went from 10 grand to probably worth about $700-something thousand.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 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 So it's about just under $3,000 a troy ounce now.
Yes.
And when I bought it, it was $35 a troy ounce for her, as opposed to like everybody else, they buy their daughters a car or something. And I bought her gold. Well, yeah. So people, because people think I'm a blowhard, but no, I just always was known to do the right stuff. I didn't buy her a freaking G-Tree BMW. I could have, but I didn't. But instead, I bought her $10,000 worth of gold.
She still has it. That's great.
Yeah, she does, and my son has it too. My son still has his too.
Wow.
Because gold and silver and diamonds is just like a woman's best friend is a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the pawn shop and you see more engagement rings hot.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
I make a point to go there, and yeah, they're getting rid of their love, their lost love, right?
Yeah.
By hawking it. Yeah. Got rid of the memory and went and spent it on another guy. Anyway, but that's what Trump wants to do. He wants to lock in immigration, zero. And we need to he wants to give the country a rest. We have 53.5 million non-citizen residents in this country.
Yep.
That's a recipe for disaster. Most of these people that are here, folks, 53 million, they're on welfare, and you're paying for it.
Yeah. Well, I think they want a disaster, OG. I think they were looking to break the system.
They are. That's the idea of one. That's the disaster. That's
Yeah,
what they want to do.
absolutely.
Democrats have been wanting to do this for 100 years.
Mhm.
And they have to destroy the Constitution. But the best way, and you got to understand, these people, they remember they said 325,000 kids got lost under Biden? They didn't
Mhm.
get lost. No. They're using the kids have been weaponized to destroy our schools and our educational system. Remember, we don't have enough English, we don't have enough Spanish speaking teachers for them and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And California got 57 languages. You get to vote under those languages, and we shouldn't be doing that. If you can't learn English, get the hell out of my country. Can you imagine moving to Germany like my daughter did in Berlin, and she's whining and bitching because nobody wants to speak English to her? Can you believe that? Now Germany has 850,000 words in its vocabulary. That's a couple 100,000 more than English. And she learns and speaks German fluently, and she's a practicing neurologist in Berlin, Germany. So she has to be on top of her game, language-wise and medically. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And because to diagnose someone, she's got to write the prescription in German. And so my head is up. So I've got a couple of good kids here. I really do.
Good.
Yeah, well, like you, your son,
Yep.
he's still serving the country. And he's one of the 0.4% that serves the country. Your son is.
Wow. He's remarkable. I enjoy him.
He's one of the he's 0.4, one of the 0.4% of the 1% that serve this country in uniform. Your son is one of them. That's remarkable.
Yeah. It is.
Well, I'll see you with that, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
And I never did see the Adelita Grijalva video. I guess I could have. It's on Facebook apparently. I know that Daniel Gutierrez put it out there. I just didn't look at it, but now I've got to. After OG's description, I've got to go take a look at it. Right now, I'm going to take a break, and I'll be right back.
Sunny, mild days, clear, cold nights this week. 77 and sunny today, 52 and clear tonight, 78 and sunny tomorrow, 51 tomorrow night, 80 with sunshine on Wednesday.
Since 1905, the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce has been the voice for business in Greater Yuma. Want to stay informed about Yuma's business community? The Chamber connects you with local leaders, business and marketing opportunities, and advocacy that ensures Yuma stays a great place for your business to grow and thrive. Serving all of Yuma and Yuma County, including the Kokopah and Kushan nations, the Chamber strengthens partnerships that move our region forward. Be part of Yuma's business network. Call Valeria or Ashley today at 928-782-2567.
The 8 Nights of Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday tradition. More in a moment.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pro has been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
For Jews throughout the world, Hanukkah, the Feast of Lights, is celebrated over 8 nights, usually in the month of December. Each night, a candle is lit on the menorah, which is accompanied by a prayer, after which a small gift is given to each of the children. During Hanukkah, gifts are exchanged and contributions are made to the poor. Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday tradition.
I'm Sean Gardner. I am an estate planning attorney. I help people get their affairs in order by organizing their finances and setting up plans that allow them to be managed in the event of incapacity and death with the least amount of government intervention. I'm not a huge fan of the government. In fact, I think the government is only there to ensure that my rights aren't infringed upon. Yet I'm more and more convinced that the government is the one doing the infringing these days. And so I like to help other people avoid government interference in their personal affairs.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
Well, it's all fun and games until you're bad internet. Not so much fun. Say goodbye to bad internet. Say hello to local support from a company that believes in better. Say goodbye to the spinning wheel of doom and the regular equipment rebooting. And say hello to a hassle-free experience. Say goodbye to the internet Struggles of yesterday and say hello to a provider that picks our community and provides a product and service that's locally rooted right here in our hometown. Find out more at allofiber.com. That's allofiber.com.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
Hey, I'm 560 KBL and Russ Clark with you, and I have a caller on. Good morning.
Morning, Russ.
How are you?
So good. Trying to keep thought out here this morning. I ran up out of the house in a hurry and got my hoodie.
Oh no! How you gonna hide your face, right?
Well, I got a T-shirt and a long sleeve, kind of like T-shirt thingy on. So I only hide the face when I'm dressing in the dark and put it on backwards.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, the OG brought up, I think, was it Calvin Coolidge?
Yeah, he did. Brought up with Calvin Coolidge.
And you kind of hesitated when he did so. I think you sometimes forget how I have renamed him instead of original gangster to original grumpy old man.
Well, bringing up Calvin Coolidge is grumpy, I guess.
No, it's the old part.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
He was probably around the clock for him.
Well, I think he mentioned because Trump mentioned on his
I
invitation.
understand. I'm giving OG a rough time because he's
Well,
not here to defend himself.
you got to be dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous because he'll call me again, and I'll put I'll put that on you.
You know, I like stirring the pot.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Yeah.
So let's move on to politics a little bit here.
Okay.
I used to call you as a sufferer of Trump arrangement syndrome.
Oh.
You don't recall?
No.
I get. Yeah, you can't remember.
I get called
like
names a lot every day.
I understand, and President Trump is definitely one of the original great name calling, masters.
He really does a nice job of it. They kind of stick, Yeah.
A lot of them do. So, anyways, let's talk a little bit about how things are going after almost a year in office.
Okay.
You pretty happy?
I am.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not terribly disappointed, but I do think there's been a lot more taken care of, shall we say, on the world stage than there has been here in our own backyard.
Sure. And I think it's a fair comment and one that has, I think, hurt him a little bit. And I see him making adjustments, particularly with an election coming up next year. Yes.
Yeah. And traditionally, the party in power of the Oval Office loses seats.
Yep. That's a historical fact for sure.
Midterms.
Yeah.
I don't know that I see enough, good happening to buck that trend. So
I think it's very possible from everything I've seen. And another thing in favor, the Supreme Court's come out and supported Texas's realignment. And I guess I never really looked at it completely of the gerrymandering that's been going on and understood all the things behind it. But a lot of
old school.
Well, a lot of the gerrymandering, it's since the formation of the country. But a lot of the gerrymandering that goes on now is forced on us by this race thing that there has to be a certain amount of minority majority districts, which now is being thrown out and said, that's racist. And it's political now. Well, it's always been political, but the Democrats had a real advantage because everybody was forced to have majority minority, and the only minority was blacks. It wasn't minority Asians, minority anything else, just blacks. And that's what caused all those weird looking districts, is trying to get enough blacks together to make a majority minority. And that only benefited one party, Only one party. It only benefited Democrats in a huge degree. And now the Supreme Court has said, no, we can't do that anymore. And of course, that's why they're embracing Texas, redoing their districts. And the Dems are melting down because that has been an artificial advantage to them for quite some time, where they just got and at the end of the day, it's all about politics. I mean, black doesn't matter even to the Democrats. I mean, you take a black man that becomes Supreme Court justice, and he's a Republican, they hate him. They don't support him for the success of a black man. Look at that, a black man got success. Yeah, but he's a Republican, so we hate him.
Yeah, well, blacks in general have been tossed aside by the left because they're not necessarily the majority, but there's a lot that aren't voting the way they want. But also, they know that the real votes are going to come from the illegals and the brown that they're importing.
Yeah.
And so, why, and those are terrible descriptions of using names, but black and brown is not, I didn't invent those terms.
But I'm not convinced it's going to hold that way always, that they always get what they want, just like they thought Hispanic vote would be in the pocket as much as that. And, people are people, though. And at some point, they read, they learn, they understand. They look at what's best for them as well as country and their children. And when they do that, I think they want what the founding fathers gave us, which was smaller government, more opportunity, instead of guaranteed results. Guaranteed results are going to end up like communist. And you get free healthcare, but there's no doctors. Free food, but there's a line and they run out. It's who's going to produce in those situations when there's no benefit to production.
So just a quick, not necessarily correct about it, the difference between Hispanic and Latin, Latina, because Hispanic means speak Spanish, right?
Right.
Latin is largely used.
Okay, you sound like you've moved away from the phone, but
oh God, dang it!
What?
You still there?
Yeah, there you go. You're delivering Starbucks or something, I guess.
No, I just turned on the car again, and it automatically switched on Bluetooth.
I hate when that does that. Yeah.
Oh man, drives me crazy. Anyways, I was talking about the difference between Hispanic and Latin. Did you follow that?
No, I've looked at it many times, but there's very little difference. Latino is basically the
but
same.
Latino, Latina. No, it's not. It's Latino, Latina is more of Latin America, where Hispanic is anyone who speaks Spanish.
No, not according to all the research I've read. Hispanic is basically one thing, and that's anybody born in a country that was colonized by Spain or Portugal. That's it. That's the whole criteria.
Okay.
That's calls you Hispanic. Now, to be Latino is any country that was colonized by Spain, Portugal, or France, and you start adding France into it, and that's Latino, like Haiti or something is Latino.
Well, I bow before the master. Sounds like you've done a little bit more research than I have.
I've done some research on it, but look it up. But they keep calling it, La Raza, the race. It's not race. It was a birthright to being born in a country colonized by Spain or Portugal. And so race doesn't matter. It can be black Hispanic or a Chinese Hispanic. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha. All right, so one last quick thought, then I'll let you go. You were talking about racism and racist. You consider those words to have negative connotations, correct?
Which words? Racist? Oh yeah, calling somebody a racist, I think that's meant to be negative.
Correct, and it's definitely one that most GOPers, right-leaning people, get all defensive about. And
I think less so. Now it just means you're winning the argument. It really doesn't make any difference.
I think calling someone a racist is the last quiver in your arrow, and you're probably losing the argument. But anyways, my point being, how about the word prejudice? Are you prejudiced?
I think everyone has some prejudice in them. I think it exists in everybody to some degree. Unfortunately, I think it's a negative.
So again, you're going into negative. I was going to ask, is a positive and negative connotation?
Yeah. I think
you think being prejudiced is negative.
I think it's deemed negative. Yeah, I think if you went into someone and said, "Hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm a prejudiced man. I hope you accept me." I don't think that would be accepted.
If you're talking about what's accepted, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I consider myself to be prejudiced because I prejudge a lot of things.
Everybody,
not necessarily on skin color, not necessarily on this and that,
mm-hmm.
but I do have a certain experience in my life, a certain level of interaction with. Let's just keep it talking about people, prejudice, and I consider there to be a vast difference between what I would call a black person, and a ghetto black person.
Well, that has to do with environment. That has to do with attitude and way you grow up, and that's what we should look at: is the character of somebody. And that's what Martin Luther King pointed out: the content of your character.
You could put the same black person in, a hoodie and shorts hanging halfway down his thighs and underwear showing, or in a suit and tie, and same exact person, same facial hair, same everything.
It's total difference. Be like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places.
Okay, there you go.
But look, prejudice exists, whether we want to admit it or not. We do have, some of that in us, just based on our time and experience on Earth. And I went to a black college, which was interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah, I heard you mention that.
I love the experience. But I remember in a class one day, prejudice came up, and the professor asked, who's prejudiced? And that creates a lot of looking around nervousness.
And all the blacks in there, I'm sure, wouldn't want to raise their hands.
Well. Something weird about some people in black culture believe that blacks can't be prejudiced because they're victims.
Mm-hmm.
Their victims are not.
Yeah.
It's not allowed. But that's all not true. But so he asked one of the guys, because everybody kind of froze. You don't want to answer that question. And so he asked one guy in the class who happened to be white, and he says, "So tell me, if you came home after work and you're married and you come home after work or something and your wife is in bed with another man, how would you feel?" Now you say, well, he stuttered a little bit. I would be angry. I don't know. I'd be upset. Now, he's not married. He says, well, what if the man was black? He said, I'd kill him. Which says, there you go. We see race, even though we think that we don't at times, and we need to be conscious of it at times. But by and large, that gets us into trouble. And there is no, we're all humans. It's a human race. And black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Chinese, it's a matter of what they do with it, the content of your character. Martin Luther King was right. And I know the Democrats still put Martin Luther King posters in some of their publications, but they don't listen to the message. No. They don't understand it anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've wiggled your ear long enough for the moment. I'll go back to listening.
You take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, that's a conversation I didn't expect today. But let me take a break. And I'll be right back. AM 560.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind? Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to BYRNA.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner compact fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner. Every person have one. Now, it fires potent, kinetic, and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the gift giver and the recipient peace of mind not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit byrna.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's byrna.com.
It's pajama time, Yuma. Join Eldorado Broadcasters and Avenir Financial for DJs for PJs, collecting new, unused, warm pajamas for families in need. Now through December 14th, drop off donations at our radio station at 755 West 28th Street, Avenir Financial on South First Avenue and North Frontage Road in the foothills, and any local Little Caesars Pizza. Let's keep Yuma warm this holiday season.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He'll drain that old swamp.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. My fact checker actually asked me a question instead of correcting me. I'm almost fearful to answer. He said, "Are those born in Belize, which is British, it's not Hispanic?" So I just asked AI real quick who colonized Belize, and it was British. According to the definitions that I have read, you have to, hate to break the news to them, but they're just, they're not a minority. I hate to take that away from them, but according to what I've read as a definition, although Spain contested it, apparently, they wanted to have Belize. They contested the British actually colonized them. But yeah, according to you follow that rule strictly, but maybe they get under some technicality that Spain wanted them. I have no idea. And they're apparently the only country in that area of the world that was not colonized by Spain and Portugal. So he's asking for a friend. Sure he is. I have no idea. Because the definite, Hispanic doesn't mean anything more than the language, I guess. It doesn't, it's not a race. But it's has to do with where you were born. That's all, not where you were born, not what skin tone is. Oh, well, Edward put out a good point, is that if it's on the internet, it's got to be true. That's right. Watch your sources, man. Careful about who your sources are. Everything's on the internet. I started talking about some of the national holidays that were going on and the changes, because Martin Luther King Day is going to be gone and Juneteenth's going to be gone, and there's some additional ones. It's really a lot of open days for national parks. The agency is rolling out fully digital America the Beautiful passes, which includes annual military senior 4th grade and access passes. 4th grade, okay. That can be purchased and displayed on mobile devices by going to recreation.gov. I didn't even know they did that, but that's good news. Visitors will be able to activate passes instantly and still link them to physical cards if needed. So you can go on recreation.gov, get a pass instantly while you're in line. Yeah, if you go to national parks before, there's a line to get in, and you have to give them your credit card and all that kind of stuff. You could just pull out a line, the line, if there is one that just where you already have a pass, if you don't need to buy one, and just show it to them. That's kind of nice. President Trump's leadership always puts American families first, according to Doug Burgum. These policies ensure U.S. taxpayers who already support the national parks continue to enjoy access. And the annual pass is going to be $80. That's pretty good. But if you're a foreigner, non-resident, it's $250. America first. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
In answer to the gentleman mentioning my name and connecting it with Calvin Coolidge, I mentioned Calvin Coolidge's name for a reason. Calvin Coolidge knew that the United States was a white country. It's a Christian country. He knew that. So he put a freeze on immigration because he knew that 85% of the world's population was black or Hispanic heritage.
Okay.
He knew that 8% of the entire world's population at the time is Caucasian. He knew that. So when everybody started calling and screaming minority groups, he knew that the white race was a minority of the world's population. He knew that. This is one of the main reasons, folks, that white people are just stupid, because they allowed the blacks to assume the heritage of African nations, like African Americans, and they've never been there. But that is that connects them to the African race, which is 85% of the entire country's world population.
Yep.
Again, Caucasians are only like 8% of the entire world's race.
Is that all it is? Is 8%?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Yes, sir. 8%.
then I am a minority.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Wow.
I've always maintained that. Even when the Jewish call themselves minority, I said, whoa, hold on. Because I am the true minority. Because and blue-eyed people are about 8% of the whites.
Uh-oh. I'm a blue-eyed also.
Yeah, I've seen you.
Almost an albino.
Yeah. But you look good in a suit.
There you go.
Yeah, but that was what I'm saying. So Coolidge saw this coming, so he put a freeze on immigration to lock. Even Asians in China, people are not aware of this. In China, 1% of that 1.5 billion have blue eyes. People are not aware of that.
In China, really?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 1%.
That.
Yeah, they got 1.5 billion, and of that, 1% got blue eyes over there. So I don't know how that came about, now, unless the Vikings went through there a couple of times,
Probably.
But the Silk Trail, the Silk Trail. Anyway, but Calvin Coolidge, without him, we would be in a world of Dutch.
Was Coolidge racist then? I've never read anything on that. Like,
no, well, you won't. Well, you won't, because you can understand what Jimmy Carter did, folks. Jimmy Carter implemented and signed into law the 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto, which put the government in charge of your academics. So anyone under the age of 60 has been affected by the lack of that academia. They don't have history. They really don't. You should know this, Russ. When you connect with someone that, we'll say, under 50, and you start talking about Arizona's history, they don't even know when Arizona was a state. They don't know it in 1912.
Yeah.
They don't, because they weren't taught that at school. But you know that because you were taught that and you remembered it. That's education, when you remember what these kids are getting, and it's our fault. They're getting indoctrinated. That's what they're getting instead of education. And if you taught, and it's not their fault. If you got any young people listening, child, I feel for you, but your parents should have attended those PTA meetings and fought for your education, and they did not do that. So don't blame the government. Don't blame me. You blame your parents for not having an interest in your education. See, my daughter is in Germany. She's a practicing neurologist because Baylor rejected her when her mother took her down to enroll her. Baylor rejected her because they were worried about my income. Could I sustain the duration for her to get a medical degree? It's designed, if your dad's not a doctor, keep your ass out. That's what it's a club.
All right.
And well, people are not aware of that. Like your son, now he's in the military, but you're not.
No.
That's why it's extremely special what he does. 0.4% for him to believe what he's doing, serving the United States Constitution. But he has to take an oath every time he reenlists. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, and he's very patriotic. I mean, he fights for country. That's it.
I've never met him, but I know he is because he's still there. Yes, and you got to wake up at 5:30 in the morning for reveille every morning. You got to have your heart in your job. You don't just do that because you're lazy.
Right.
We got couch potatoes for that, watching TV out here. And I'm going to leave you with this. So, but Calvin Coolidge, without him, who knows? Because FDR was a socialistic nightmare to the Constitution, is what he was, folks. And he won 4 freaking terms. That's how addicted Americans became to communism.
Oh, yeah. That's
They
why
were.
that's why they did an amendment to stop it, because it's too
Yes.
powerful. Executive branch is one
Yes.
person. Yes.
Yeah, because once someone gets, it's like German chocolate cake. Once you get hooked on it, you end up quit eating until someone comes and takes it away.
I'm a fan. All right, OG. I appreciate the
Okay.
call. Thank you, sir.
You take care.
All right, bye-bye. How's OG? I knew he'd call back because Mike called and made comments about him. There you go. I had to look at Calvin because, like I said, I'm not that well versed in Calvin Coolidge, but apparently, and I just asked AI if he was his record on race. Apparently, it's mixed. He spoke at Howard University, address 1924. He delivered the commencement address. I mean, he was not anti-African American like Wilson, but the Immigration Act of 24 is one that many viewed him as racist because it was highly discriminatory. Legislation established national origin quotas, restricted immigration from Southern and Eastern Europe, banned almost all Asian and Arab immigration, and so they considered that interesting. I didn't know much about him, but I'm learning. Let me just wrap up this bit about the national parks, and the national parks. I said the annual pass could remain $80 for Americans, jump to $250 for foreign residents, non-residents. Visitors who do not hold a pass will pay an added $100 per person at 11 of the most visited national parks. I don't know what those 11 are. It doesn't say. But it also gave some kudos to motorcycle riders. Gilbert. Yeah, motorcycle riders. One pass will get in 2 motorcycles. It's going to cover 2. So maybe you go in side by side. I don't know. That's new though. That if you're riding motorcycles into the national parks, 2 of you can get in on one pass. Oh, according to that, I don't spend enough time in national parks. Perhaps Helen and I should go out and visit more. I no longer have a motorhome to go visit, but maybe we'll get some small, camper trailer or something and go out and spend some days at national parks. I need to put that on the calendar and start doing some of that. When I get back, and it's the top of the hour, I'm going to talk a little bit about the University of Minnesota. Yeah, we're still, these colleges get federal money. Colleges like University of Minnesota, and there's some guidelines. Particularly, they've been updated by Donald Trump, in that the DEI stuff has got to go away. That no longer can be tolerated. And many of the colleges, from my understanding and what I've read on the internet, so it's got to be true, according to Edward, a lot of colleges have changed the names and moved it around, but they're not really embracing the identity politics being taken out of their curriculum. They're continuing to lean on identity politics, and of course, we need to decide: is that intentional, or is that something they're just oversight? I would tend to think it's intentional, but when it's been part of them, and it's hard to let it go. But I'm going to go through some of the stuff that University of Minnesota does right now, and not letting it go. And will Trump actually force the issue? And withhold federal funds. In the case of Minnesota, those are not small ticket items; those are big tickets. I'll be back. It's the top of the hour. AM 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He spent 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He'll drain that old swamp. Just like he'll make America.
Is Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma. He hasn't even read it. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump says last he'd heard Ukraine President Zelensky has not read his proposal for peace with Russia and isn't ready for it. Zelensky's meeting with European leaders today.
As these peace talks really drag on here, the Ukrainian president is in London to talk with ally leaders about strengthening his military and strengthening Ukraine's defense. He will sit down with the Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the French president and also the German chancellor in a way really to strengthen his negotiating position here, since they too find Russia's demands to control eastern Ukraine way too unacceptable. This comes amid new comments from the president's son, Don Jr., suggesting that it is possible that Trump could walk away.
Aisha Hazi at the White House. President Trump today plans to announce a $12 billion aid package for farmers affected by the trade war started by putting more tariffs in place, and said he has options. Supreme Court rules he's overstepped his authority with those tariffs.
There are other routes we can go, but it won't give you the same pure national security as this one. This one is swift and very powerful.
The president there on the red carpet for the Kennedy Center honors in D.C. also saying Netflix purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery could be a problem and still be involved in the approval process. He posted this morning on Truth Social that he'll sign an executive order this week for one rule book covering artificial intelligence instead of 50 states having their own. Thousands of people have fled the area near the Thailand, Cambodia. Fox's Marianne Rafferty.
Thailand launched airstrikes against Cambodia. This new wave of fighting comes just months after the two sides agreed to pause fighting in a peace plan brokered by President Trump. But that pact was suspended earlier this month between the Southeast Asian neighbors. Thailand says this new attack is in retaliation for a deadly Cambodian strike on Monday.
Soldier was killed. The movie One Battle After Another has the most Golden Globe nominations with 9. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes, heroes like Josh Bischoff. Josh began his firefighting career as a volunteer and ultimately became CAL FIRE's Assistant Chief of Tactical Air Operations until tragedy struck and he was killed in a helicopter collision while fighting a California wildfire. He leaves behind his wife Cheryl and their 2 children, Derek and Juliana. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation paid the Bischoff family's mortgage. Support heroes like Josh and their families. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry Larry! Larry saves his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Madeline Murray. Over the weekend, the Sunrise Optimist Club presented a check to the Advocate Foundation. The club raised $7,000 for a bowling fundraiser in November for the foundation, which supports Yuma families who have children with childhood cancer. The Sunrise Optimist Club is an organization that volunteers to raise money for the youth of our community. If you'd like more information on how to join this club, visit our website at thewine.com. Locals were in the full spirit as the Yuma hosted the annual Downtown Christmas over the weekend. The event took place along Main Street in downtown Yuma Saturday at 1 p.m. There were a variety of food and drink vendors, live entertainment, and fun activities for families to enjoy. One of the main attractions is the ice skating rink, which families got to choose a time slot and a QR code at the entrance of the skating rink. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest local news, weather, and sports.
It's pajama time, Yuma. Join Eldorado broadcasters and Avenir Financial for DJs for PJs, collecting new unused warm pajamas for families in need. Now through December 14th, drop off donations at our radio station at 755 West 28th, Avenir Financial at 1780 South First Avenue, and on North Frontage Road in the Foothills, or any local Little Caesars Pizza. Let's keep Yuma warm this holiday season.
At Exceptional Community Hospital, we are redefining what emergency care should feel like: fast, personal, and compassionate. Our experienced ER physicians and staff are here 24/7 to care for your unexpected illness or injury. Don't wait for emergency care when you can be seen in minutes. With short wait times, you'll get the prompt attention you need because every minute matters. And if your recovery takes longer, we provide the inpatient care you deserve. Exceptional Community Hospital. Compassionate care. Exceptional service.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. My fact checker gave me some interesting info I would not have looked up or known, but those with blue eyes are related to the gods in every pre-Christian civilization. All the gods were depicted with blue eyes. I had no idea. I don't think it gets me any advantages. I don't think so. University of Minnesota, I started talking about it a little bit. There's some backlash right now because of the DEI type stuff. There's an organization out there, a parental advocacy group called Defending Education, and Defending Education, and they recently highlighted things that's going on at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. Now, that university received $628 million in federal research awards. That was in the 24 fiscal year, just in 1 year, $628 million. And it's harboring anti-white research project that claims America is suffering from a whiteness pandemic. I don't know if that falls under the block on DEI and that kind of nonsense, but it should. It should, according to Ray and Stanley, research director, Defending Education. This far-left programming is at a major public university is another example of how ingrained DEI is in higher education. It's not going away anytime soon. They have something they call the Culture and Family Lab. It's part of the school's Institute of Child Development and has a page titled Whiteness Pandemic Resources for Parents, Educators, and Other Caregivers. I didn't know there was a whiteness pandemic. The website, if you go to the website, it says, at birth, young children growing up in white families begin to socialize into the culture of whiteness, making the family system one of the most powerful systems involved in systemic racism. Tells white adults it is their responsibility to self-reflect, re-educate themselves, and act, and that they need to engage in courageous anti-racist parenting caregiving. That's what they're trying to get them to do. We need to, since we're part of the pandemic, we've got to participate in courageous anti-racist parenting. It recommends white adults begin listening to, taking seriously, and following the stories and recommendations, like Black Lives Matter organizations and humanizing victims of police brutality and racism, such as George Floyd. It gives links to other propaganda works. It says, read and watch with children as part of a discussion about race, racism, and privilege, and anti-racism. One of them is titled, The Whiteness Pandemic Behind the Racism Pandemic. And Whiteness Societal in Minneapolis following George Floyd's murder. And it claims that family socialization into the centuries-old culture of whiteness involving colorblindness, passivity, and fragility perpetuates U.S. racism, reflecting an insidious whiteness pandemic. Insidious. Do you really think I'm going to sit down with my kids and grandkids and go through this garbage of that? And what do you? I mean, I think. Well, look, my grandkids are half Hispanic. Are they covered in this whiteness pandemic? I guess. How do we do the mixed families anyway in this? It says, while generally implying that whiteness is a disease, University of Minnesota professor suggests that color evasion and power evasion specifically are pathogens of the whiteness pandemic. And they're exorbitantly transmitted within families, with white parents serving as carriers to their children unless they take active preventive measures rooted in anti-racism and equity promotion. I think this. I think this professor's a racist. His name's Ferguson. He's black, by the way. He says one litmus test for whether a white mother is helping spread the proposed whiteness disease comes down to how that mother responded to George Floyd's death. A mother's apathy over the criminal's death and her unwillingness to discuss the so-called systemic racism with her children are treated as indicators that she approves or is at the least very indifferent to imagined racism. Alternatively, the whiteness of mother, the willingness of mothers to express grief and concern over Floyd's death and discuss it and Black Lives Matter with their children using color and power conscious parenting were regarded as signs of desired anti-racist mentality. Black Lives Matter, really, I mean, Black Lives Matter has been so discredited with so much corruption and buying houses and the money going nowhere, except to the people that are leaders. Really, you could use Black Lives Matter as an example of our desired organization. Well, they want to dismantle the colorblind radical ideology. They want to dismantle Martin Luther King, I guess. Let's dismantle Martin Luther King, which at one time was proposing that character mattered over all else. Well, this is trying to discredit Martin Luther King. White students should be subject to racism and anti-racism education, especially at a young age, I guess because they're plagued. And it will be important to go beyond how white women learn to say the right things to also consider how they learn to do the right things and actually show up for racial justice. Is this why we're seeing so many white women at these marches and riots and anti-ICE things? Possibly. The basis for these conclusions in the paper surveyed 392 white mothers. 51% of were liberal, 18 were conservative, and 91% of whom had a bachelor's degree. So they were looking for educated women. And that's what you see at the movements now. I mean, is the educated, college graduate women that somehow lose their minds and start fighting for causes that are perplexing. The racial initiative was made possible, made possible with the help of federal funds provided by the National Institute of Mental Health during Joe Biden's tenure. Now, they asked the university about the anti-white project, and the university responded. It remains steadfast to its commitment to the principles of academic freedom. That's their response. We have the right to academic freedom. Even with federal money, we have the right to academic freedom. It's unfortunate. It just shows that there's a lot of work to do to get back on the basis of common sense. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Morning, Russ. How you doing?
Well, Ted. Good morning, sir.
Looks like the race card is the ticket to today's conversation.
Well, yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I hate the racial subject as much as anybody. It shouldn't exist, but
well, I think everybody should hold a mirror up to themselves and say mulatto.
Well, that's what
I am mulatto.
A Family Guy had a color wheel that he would hold up to somebody to decide how much social services they got or something. It was just ridiculous. Of course, that's a comedy, but it's so real. I mean, that's how some people think. Your value in society is according to the color wheel, and they don't mean white.
Right.
And
I only know two people on this planet that have ever been pure of race. You know who they were?
Jesus?
Adam and Eve.
Oh, Adam and Eve. Yeah, but they got corrupted.
But they were the only two pure of race on this planet.
Yeah, there is no such thing. I mean, do a DNA check. We're all mutts, but and yet we want to separate ourselves as race, which is just, to me, ridiculous. And maybe there's something I'm missing.
That's how you control the money.
My fact checkers asked, since he married a Hawaiian, like a full-blooded Hawaiian, descendant, does that mean I'm not a racist? No, it doesn't mean you're not a racist at all.
Check that 23 of me, and I'll tell you, you got a percentage of something else in you.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing how we've got nothing better to do but then to check people's skin color and decide how many freebies they get and how much they've been a victim or a persecutor.
Remember Rod Steiger,
yes.
Twilight Zone?
Uh-huh.
He did a show once where this woman thought she was so beautiful and all, but when she went out got back in the public, all these people that look like pigs.
Oh.
See that show? You ever see that one?
I did not. I mean, maybe I did, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So she didn't fit in. They thought she was gross.
Right. she was not of their kind.
Well, she
thought she was so ugly because she wasn't like them.
Yep. That's
pretty astute show, I thought.
Subjective, man.
And we need to get off of this race card, because
well,
like I said, there's only two pure race, and that was Adam and Eve.
But that's why I talk about it, because it is it's ridiculous at times. But there's many people make a living on it. Somalians make a living on race. And you can't, and so many people are afraid to say anything because they don't want to be called racist. And they theorized, many have theorized, that's why the Somalian thing got so out of hand, because who's going to stand up and say this is ridiculous? Because you don't want to be labeled a racist. So let them take the $1 billion or billions, it looks like. It's ridiculous.
I told you this is the white man's burden.
Well, I think it's up to all of us to fix it. It doesn't even matter. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. My grandkids can help fix it too, and they're not pure. Half Hispanic. So what? Who cares?
Right. There is no purity. Right. Adam and Eve were the only two pure of race.
Right.
After that,
we need
just throw those dice.
You need to start going back to the content of character and what you stand for, who you are, and those kind of things. And you'll find that that good and evil goes through all races. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, like I say, hold that mirror up and go, mulatto.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Have a good day.
I don't even know if everybody knows what that means, mulatto. It's kind of a term from slavery, even. Mulatto would be a mixed race. Yuma authorities are looking for some help right now. There was a 21-year-old woman that was killed by a hit-and-run driver. Cemetery man has already turned himself in. Hit and run. And then this happened on Saturday. Now, if you know where Avenue B in County 14th Street is, I've traveled that area many times. It's near the airport there. But at 4:45 a.m., that's in the morning, at 4:45 a.m., the deputies found a woman, that died, Marilia Costa, 21-year-old, and a vehicle struck her and fled. And that's what they found out. On Saturday, they asked for help finding a sedan or coupe with damage to the front passenger side headlamp. Sunday, Jorge Luis Rosas Sanchez turned himself in, a 27-year-old. He's in the Yuma County Detention Center in charge of failing to remain at the scene of a fatal crash. The investigation's going on. So they're asking for help if you know anything about this, but that's not even 5 o'clock in the morning, and not in a populous area, really. I mean, who knows what's going on out there in the middle of the night before the sun comes up. Not a good situation. It's unfortunate. New study on GLP-1. That's that new Ozempic type drug. It's a GLP-1. And here's good news for you guys with fat cats. Yeah, literally fat felines. Yeah, I've got a story for you. Let me take a phone call first. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ. This is Bruce.
Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, I mean, Trump needs to come start taking money away from our own colleges in Arizona.
Correct.
You know, Michelle Pena was trying to get state superintendent to take all the DEI out to do their jobs. I mean, I'm having issues with NAU, talking about white supremacy and white privilege.
Yeah.
You know, in my kid's classroom, it's bad. I mean, I haven't been fighting the fights in the in the high schools, but in the college, it's gotten bad, and they're not changing their ways. Like you said, they're just changing the way they do business and changing the verbiage, but it's not going away until somebody starts taking their money away. And I hope that it comes to
Yeah, apparently they've taken some some business cards and ripped them up, and they took nameplates off doors. But the whole attitude of DEI and the teaching of it continues in some cases. I don't know how much
Yeah.
and where, but
I'm-
I keep reading
And then the
stories.
bad part is, NAU, U of A, and ASU is here at AWC, but you got the president here not doing anything as well. He's allowing them to do it. I don't know how everything is structured as our community owns those buildings and they lease them out.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to figure out how to stop it, and I can't figure it out. So I mean, I need help. I'm not always the brightest tool in the shed, but I know that shit needs not to be taught at our local community or for our kids.
Right.
So I appreciate it.
No,
Thanks,
man.
Russ.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Yeah, if it continues, then the federal funds should dry up. They should become a private school. It's just outrageous. Here's how GLP-1 works on cats. And this is from Dr. Courtney Deere. He's a traveling emergency room veterinarian. He said, food is a big part of American culture, and we extend it to our pets. And I think that's true. When I take my my own little spoiled puppy around, I only feed her twice a day. According to her size and all that, she gets fed twice a day. So theoretically, she doesn't overeat, but everywhere I go, everybody wants to give her a treat. I guess that's part of our culture. And then that's her growling right now. She doesn't want me to stop saying treats. They're finding that up to 60% of our pets or dogs and cat companions are overweight. Huh. And there's a balance, a battle and a balance anyway, especially when your pet isn't a fan of exercise. Yeah, they've taken on our traits overall. So this Dr. Ernie Ward, he's a top pet obesity researcher. He's putting these tiny implants that goes into the skin of these cats. He said in veterinary medicine in the last 100 years, the only prescription we had was feed less, exercise more. And that doesn't work for all animals. Well, yeah, it does. I don't think it works for all families. I think the families are going to keep feeding the pet every time you're not looking. And my dog would eat anything you throw on the floor. It's just going to happen. And she's not starving. But the answer is to give these dogs and cats drugs because they don't know. They don't like to exercise. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Russ. It's Ernie.
Hey, Ernie, good morning.
Yeah, as far as straightening out all these schools and stuff, and the racial issues that we're currently having.
Right.
I think a lot of that started happening with Obama when he started doing some kind of shady deals with money. Yeah. Interest, the annual interest rate started going up.
Oh, we've got a lot of issues other than race, but race is something that's been pushed like crazy in the media, pushed by these organizations. They don't want to let it go. It creates chaos. It creates problems.
Well, I really don't understand it. I mean, we're just people.
Right. Exactly right.
Some of my best friends are people of color, as they would say today.
Yeah, I don't really, I had to look the other day. Somebody was saying about one of my Bible. I go to a couple of Bible classes, and somebody was saying something about, and somebody in the class said something about Mexicans, in the Bible class, or how many, and I didn't realize it. I didn't know, but I think my Bible class is like 90% Hispanic, but it never dawned on me. I don't
noticed, right?
I don't notice. I mean, why would you? I don't notice.
I was born and raised right here in Utah. I went to school with people of color every day. We never had any issues, not even in high school or any of that.
Yeah. Oh, most of us don't notice. All right, Ernie. I gotta take a break. I've been invaded.
Oh, okay.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
Care of the dog,
All right, man. Bye-bye. I'll be right back. 856.
This in North America comes from many lands. In a moment, the origins of our holiday traditions.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pro has been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
Many of the nationalities in North America have contributed to our holiday traditions. Santa comes from Holland, the Christmas tree from Germany, the nativity scene comes from Italy, and mistletoe from England. Even today, one of our most recent holiday traditions, the Luminarias, is a recent contribution from the Mexican culture, a multinational holiday tradition.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Aloe Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Aloe Fiber.
Sunny, mild days, clear, cold nights this week. 77 and sunny today, 52 and clear tonight, 78 and sunny tomorrow, 51 tomorrow night, 80 with sunshine on Wednesday.
Since 1905, the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce has been the voice for business in Greater Yuma. Want to stay informed about Yuma's business community? The Chamber connects you with local leaders, business and marketing opportunities, and advocacy that ensures Yuma stays a great place for your business to grow and thrive. Serving all of Yuma and Yuma County, including the Kokopah and Kushan nations, the Chamber strengthens partnerships that move our region forward. Be part of Yuma's business network. Call Valeria or Ashley today at 928-782-2567.
AK Day at Firearms Unknown is Saturday, December 13th. Firearms Unknown is having a one-day only sale on all AK-47s. Firearms Unknown will have discounts on all AK brands like Century, Zastava, Arsenal, Riley Defense, and Pioneer. Plus, with select AK purchases, customers will receive 5 free X-Tech AK magazines. Riley Defense and X-Tech will be on site showcasing their products and answering questions for customers. Spin the prize wheel for a chance at free swag. One day only, Saturday, December 13th. Doors open at 9 a.m. Firearms Unknown, 801 West 32nd Street, or firearmsunknown.com.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you, and I have a couple guests in. Jeff Stoler's one of them.
Good morning.
How things going with school?
It's going well. Yeah, I think things are going in the right direction. We're doing pretty well over there.
You've been on the board now this whole year.
I have.
It's coming up on a year.
It has been.
Now it's old school. You know what you're doing.
I'm still learning new tricks.
You're the veteran.
Yeah, right.
And you brought a teacher with you?
No, I brought a principal.
A principal?
Yes, we're in the big leagues now.
My goodness, we are to go. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning.
What school are you principal?
Woodard Junior High School.
Woodard Junior High. I hear nothing but good things.
I hear a lot of good things over there, and I'm very proud of what she does. Yes,
I do hear a lot of good things. My daughter was always in cheerleading and all that kind of stuff. Woodard always had strong programs. I don't know if they still.
Yes, we do.
They still do.
Back in my son's day, Woodard was the team to beat for wrestling.
Really?
We still are.
Really?
Yeah, wrestling and football.
Oh man, and you support all that extracurricular.
Absolutely.
Sports.
That is something that we are very proud of. We support the arts and athletics as well.
All right. That's a neighbor. That's nearby. That's right up the street.
It is. You can throw a rock to it from here.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Thank you.
Now you're doing another fundraiser.
We are. So we're doing our 3rd annual Dodgeball Strike for Success tournament. And this year we chose Woodard Junior High School to benefit all of the money. 100% of the proceeds are 100% tax deductible. And I want to give a shout out to Regina over at Gateway to the Heart, because their 501c3 has jumped in to make this where every single dollar is 100% tax deductible as a donation to this organization. It's going to be on January 10th, starting at 8 a.m. It's at the Woodard Gymnasium. And this year, we're really doing a lot of extra things. So we're going to benefit the Woodard Band. We're going to benefit Woodard Dance. And then we're also going to use some of the money to be able to do some upgrades and some things in the library. So the band and the dance are actually going to be involved in this event. At the entry, we're going to have the band play the national anthem.
Okay.
We would like to have the dance do a dance performance. And then when we get to the finals, when we have that final battle for the championship, we want to bring them back out on the court again to do another performance, to be able to kind of, give them some acknowledgement, give them some respect that they deserve, and let them go out and show their stuff.
Well, I personally think it's more entertaining than dodgeball, but okay.
I think it'll work out great. Yeah. and the dodgeball, I'm going to say it right now. We've had concerns about dodgeball is a tough sport, and I'm going to get hit in the face with a rubber ball.
True.
First of all, the rule is no hitting in the face. But in case you do, it is a soft foam ball. It's not the big red rubber ball that you would have seen in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just a little, well, it is boring. Hey, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And I'm going to be one of those out there getting hit. So, I want to make sure that I don't get hit hard.
But it's going to fly slower then.
Oh, no. Oh, no, they went really, it's a small little, about I don't want to call it an 8-inch ball. Or
so smaller than
it's a smaller ball, little handball, and they throw it fast. We were over at 4th Avenue last year. We raised over $11,000 for 4th Avenue last year. This year, my goal is $20,000.
That's your goal to play dodgeball.
That's my goal to raise money for them. Now,
right.
and we are taking all donations. There is no fixed amount. If you got $50, we'll take $50. If you got $5,000, like Clint Harrington, shout out to you, Clint Harrington, Pilkington Construction. He's committed $5,000 to this event.
They have done so much in this community.
He's such a pillar. He really is. He is a community supporter. Anywhere and everywhere there's something going on, you can bet that Pilkington will be there.
And I know I think he's on the board over at Steady, or was.
He is.
He is on the board at Steady.
Yes.
And stays very active.
Yes, I have great appreciation for him. And thank you again, Clint Harrington from Pilkington Construction.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is, and it's a local business. That's good. Support them. They support us.
Well, they support us, and I would, I'm just going to say it. I would love to see him getting more of the school work.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
bid.
That's just me.
Yeah, I know.
That's just me, and it's a bid.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able to see him get out there and get some more work around here, and he does a lot of our community stuff. So it'd be nice to be able to keep things in the community and give it back to him as well.
Good. How do they get a hold of this 501c3? Is that who collects the money?
I am the one that's collecting all of the money. Checks will be written to Gateway to the Heart Foundation.
Oh, it is Gateway to the Heart.
Yes. They are the ones that the money is going to go to their organization, and then in return, they will be taking care of the funds to Woodard.
Okay. And that way it funnels through a 501c3.
Correct.
It's doing good things for the...
Yeah, she is our premier sponsor. Not only does she sponsor the event in that respect, they are sponsoring the banner, and every sponsor that goes on there, we do have a sponsorship, $250, $500, and $750 sponsorships. Anybody that does those sponsorships will be on the banner that Gateway to the Heart and also Elite Engraving is donating. And then they've also donated all of the funds to be able to have the concessions. And again, here we go with the dance and the band groups. Band is going to be cooking hot dogs and hamburgers and doing the cook stuff. So the band families are going to be taking care of that. The dance club is going to be taking care of the other concessions, the chips, the candies, the softer things, I guess, so to say, the things so they don't get burned.
Wow.
But all of that money is coming from Gateway to the Heart and from Elite Engraving. And thank you again, Regina, for everything you do. She is another pillar of the community, and I want to give a huge shout out to her.
I don't even know where Elite Engraving is.
So Jack in the Box on what it is, I want to say it's Catalina Drive and 4th Avenue. They are right behind the Jack in the Box. And if you haven't been there, you really need to go. They've got all of the things that you would need for memorabilia, trophies, plaques, glasses. They engrave, obviously, on glass, on bricks. They're doing all the brick engravings for Amberley's place for the brick drive that they were doing there. You name it, they'll do it. They do so many things there, and you really need to go in and take a look at their shop.
Yeah. And next to the Jack in the Box.
Behind it, to the east.
To the east of the Jack.
Yes, there's a little plaza there.
See how you point out foodie places for me. You say, I'll point out a landmark you'll know, Russ.
Especially Jack in the Box.
That's
right?
really nice of you. That's good. So how long have you been principal, Nicole?
This is my first year as
first year.
principal.
Okay.
I've been at Woodard for 6 years. This is my 6th year actually.
okay,
Before
so
that, for 5 years, I was the assistant.
You've been roaming the halls.
Yes.
Tell me about being a principal during COVID and how it's changed and how we're getting back to normal.
Fortunately, I think we're pretty much back to normal. It took
Okay.
us a couple of years after the 2020 to get everybody back in and get everybody back to what learning looks like on a regular basis, not on a screen from home.
Okay.
But now we're full steam ahead again with all of our programs and everything operating as normal. We do face some challenges with those kiddos who have some gaps in their learning from those
that
years.
was my next question is, when there's been a lot of op-eds and you've read a lot of things about, a lost generation of kids and it's going to affect them in the future for the damage. How, and you are dealing with that.
We do. Something part of our glowing up our library, creating that space is we found some students lost their love of reading because they were attached to a screen. So instead of reading, it became swiping and watching 30-second videos, right?
Okay.
And attention spans, things like that. And so we want to build back that love of reading that some of them have lost, and we want to create that space that's comfortable, that promotes that literacy.
Yeah. Now, some of the colleges and other schools, some schools have pushed the stay at home or made that option available. It says, if you choose to, you can still continue to stay from home. I just wonder, is that really healthy? And is we're losing that personal contact, that socialization.
I'm a supporter of in-person learning.
Okay.
I feel like learning from a person face to face, the teacher actually showing you how to do something rather than online, I think is beneficial. But I have seen where the at-home learning for some students, kids who might struggle with anxiety or other issues, that learning from home is more comfortable for them and they're successful with that. So I've seen both. But I think that overall, in person, socialization, being a part of your community,
Sure.
being involved in the programs is healthy.
I think it is, and plus, like Jeff knows, if you sit next to a really smart person, you can cheat off of somebody's got all the answers.
Well, that's how I got through high school, right? I am not a book learner. I am a hands-on learner. So yeah, just to reiterate, yes, I believe that you should be in a classroom if you can.
Yeah.
It is good for your health and to wake up every day and know that you need to go somewhere, because in your adult life, you're going to have to wake up every day and go to work. I believe that you can learn from each other. Maybe when you're learning off the internet, you're learning one-on-one, but you're not getting the group effort. You're not learning from other people. You're not learning other ways. So I do believe in the group education.
Oh, I definitely do. I purposely go to Bible study. I could sit home and read the Bible alone, but going to Bible study, get other people's, opinions, listen to other ideas, listen to interpretations and adaptation is so helpful to really understand a picture. And if you're at home, you lose all of that.
Yeah.
Collaboration is definitely key. That's something that Woodard focuses on. We are an avid demonstration school, and collaboration while learning, that's important, right? Just like Mr. Stoner said, you got to go to work. You got to work with people. You got to figure things out. And we've all heard, two brains are better than one, right? Or two heads are better than one. So having our kids be able to come together, socialize, work through real world problems, right? That we're building the future, those people that will be solving problems for us later on when they go into the workforce. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolute team building. We always say more eyes on the subject makes it better for you.
I think so. Plus, isolation is we become that mail bomber,
We don't want that. We don't want that.
You don't want that. You don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to go back there.
Pull yourself out. And this dodgeball, I'm sure you're looking forward to it for a lot of reasons.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Again, because we do have such strong programs at Woodard, and our teachers put in their own money, their own time to be able to provide things for our students at no cost to our families. And so with this fundraising that will be happening, then we'll be able to provide even more opportunities, and it won't be coming out of anybody else's
Well,
personal pockets to be able to have more instruments for our students to participate in more community events and to really just help build our
I
programs.
really like the inclusion of all the different factions you got going on, like the band and with the dance group, making them work for it.
Yeah, and I
That's
love that you mentioned inclusion too, because even our special needs populations are involved in those programs.
okay.
And so being able to provide any accommodations or anything that those students need, then we can do that again at no cost to their families, and they can be included in everything that Woodard stands for.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as the dodgeball teams, we are all inclusive on that as well. In fact, I put out a Facebook post, and a gentleman that is on Special Olympics that was in the bowling tournament that we had to benefit the special needs kids reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to be on a team." And I said, "Absolutely, put a team together. We're not going to say that you can't play." So I think it'd be awesome to have all kinds of people there, little kids all the way to 80-year-old people. We could all play and all have fun. This is all for a great cause, and I think we should come together as a community for that.
Yeah. I've done a lot with the Special Olympics, when some of the fundraising, some of the MC work and all, and they don't know they have a problem. I mean, they really are athletes. They're really
Right. Well,
so
I have a brother. He had already passed away, but in Indiana, he was a Special Olympics champion, if you want to call it that. He was in bowling, he was in basketball,
Yeah.
and to him, life was normal.
Right.
But people might look at him different. He might be limited on what he could do, but he didn't know the difference. He was just out there killing it. And I mean, he bowled better than I bowl. He played basketball. I mean, he was really a good athlete.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he had passed away from cancer about 5 years ago. But having a special needs brother showed me that limelight that other people may not see. And so I do
Sure.
recognize that, and I appreciate that.
Sure. The dodgeball, we know it's going to be January 10th. If somebody wants to get involved right now, how do they contact you, or how do they find?
So easiest way is just if you're on Facebook, DM me, Jeff Stoner, on Facebook.
Okay.
If not, my phone number is 928-304-8825. And I know that on radio shows you talk about a phone number, and most people aren't going to write that down. So the easiest way is just go to Facebook, look me up, Jeff Stoner, and DM me or message me, and we can go from there. You can also go to Elite Engraving's office, and you can talk to Regina or talk to Sonia there, and they can get you in touch. Or just go to Woodard. Go to Woodard Junior High School. Go to the front office and say, "Hey, I want to be a part of this. How can I participate? How can I get you funds? How can we be involved as a community and take care of the needs of our schools?" So either one, Jeff Stoner, Woodard Junior High, Elite Engraving, any of those.
Lots of options.
Yes. Yeah, we are looking for anybody and everybody. Like I said, I will take your $5. I will take your $50. I'll take your $5,000. We don't care. It's all tax deduction, and we're all doing it for the benefit of Woodard Junior High.
Nicole, who's opening the school today if you're in here?
Fortunately, we have an amazing office staff and an assistant principal, Mrs. Two. That's there.
Okay. And you're not far away. As soon as you'll be there in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Absolutely.
Thanks
We
for
appreciate
having
the
us.
time and the opportunity.
And we'll continue to mention it.
Yes, please. And I would like to come in one more time just as we start to wrap up in a couple of weeks.
You're always welcome.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'll be back. AM 560 KBLU.
Well, it's all fun and games until you're stuck with bad internet. Not so much fun. Say goodbye to bad internet. Say hello to local support from a company that believes in better. Say goodbye to the spinning wheel of doom and the regular equipment rebooting. And say hello to a hassle-free experience. Say goodbye to the internet struggles of yesterday and say hello to a provider that picks our community and provides a product and service that's locally rooted right here in our hometown. Find out more at allofiber.com. That's allofiber.com.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust. Ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 50 years of service, keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. Hansberger Refrigeration and Electric. Hansberger, count on us.
There's a man in D.C. He He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He'll drain that old swamp, just like he said. He'll make America great again.
Hey, I'm 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. Phone lines are open 928 344 5258. I have fact checkers sent me an article. I got a few of them, but this one I got time for. And I was unaware. Airbags, defective airbags, they get recalled occasionally, and you've probably seen them. But let me grab this phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ. How are we doing?
We're doing well, Carl. Good morning.
My 2 cents for the day is Adelina Waddles.
Yep. Good Rahova. Yeah.
Now, the question I have for you is, in my opinion, if she did get sprayed in the face with pepper spray, at some place she should not even have been in. As far as from what I see it, she is breaking the law.
Well, I'm sure that would be up to the officers on the scene, and they would have arrested her. I mean, they would have if that was true. The whole point of the story is she was never pepper sprayed. She was, and that was denied. That's on film. They've got the whole thing on film. She was not pepper sprayed. She lied about it.
Yeah, I talked to Daniel on it, and she wasn't pepper sprayed, and I have a real big problem with this because our district is so gerrymandered that whatever we do, we do not have enough votes to put up with people like Waddles. The first thing she does, instead of trying to help our country, she turns immediately to help illegal aliens that are in our country, causing all the problems.
Well, we knew when she was elected that was going to happen. As much as we tried to not have her elected, there was a group of people that voted.
Well, yeah, uneducated illegal aliens and people that are just looking out for Alinsky rules for radicals.
Yeah.
But, from what I seen is we had Daniel Gutierrez. What I seen in his, when he was trying to get elected, he was out helping people. He was helping these people.
Yeah.
Adelina, when I listened to her in Somerton, she was all for the rainbow people and the gays and the lesbians, and we should help them as much as possible. And now what I see she's doing, she's down there saying, well, let's protect all the illegal aliens. And she should not have been there.
Well, she's allowed to be anywhere she wants to be, and she wants to get in the mix, and she wants to be, the next AOC and all that, and be outraged, and she's free to be wherever she wants to be, man. And what we need to do is pay attention.
But my problem with this, as far as I'm concerned, she's breaking her oath of office.
Why?
When she's down there protesting our government, people doing their job, which the President of the United States told them to do.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You do not have the right to go down there and interfere with those people.
You're right. They don't interfere. If they interfere, they're going to get in trouble like anybody else that interferes.
Well, was she interfering then? If she got pepper sprayed, as she said, she was interfering.
But she wasn't. Carl, that was just something that was made
We
up.
only know that, but why now she's lying?
Of course.
And to me, it proves that she was pepper sprayed by a government official. She was interfering with that man or a woman.
Carl, it didn't.
So she's guilty right there on both counts.
It didn't happen. She did it to get campaign funds. I mean,
that's true.
That's okay.
No, well, that's Alinsky's rule for radicals, isn't it? Or I think it is.
Well, I think it's definitely chaos and promoting hate and anger.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she done. Instead of helping the people of Tucson, she did not do that.
I'm thinking, same as long lines. I don't think it's helpful, but it's what she's gonna do, and she's free to do it. She can administer her office any way she wants. That's what we elect them for. But it's not in keeping what I think is good governance.
Well, I'll go back. I don't think she had the right of anybody to go down and interfere with our law officers doing their job.
Well, if she'd interfered, she'd been arrested. I don't think she did. I think she stretched the story there, buddy.
Yeah, she got in the way then.
There you go. I appreciate the call.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. Okay. Defective airbags. We hear about them occasionally. We hear about them being recalled. That's not new news. This article starts out with a gentleman that died in a car that had a defective airbag. And the defective airbag was on recall for quite a while. Never came in. So this article goes through the responsibility of the recall and the companies. Because things can happen and they get recalled. There's lots of recalls. I've had cars where I've had recalls and I don't take them in because I don't feel it's necessary. From 2015 to 2024, there were 12 million vehicles were recalled for safety defects that could result in airbags not deploying. They included all kinds: General Motors, Ford, Mercedes, everybody. It's about 2.6 million, or around 22% of all affected remain unfixed. 2.6 million, 22% of all the affected remain unfixed or still on the road, which I never really thought about. But is it compulsory to take your vehicle in if you get a recall? Well, no, it's not. It's not. This article says roughly one in three cars are recalled for all reasons, not just the airbag there, but for all reasons goes unfixed. 1/3, 1 in 3. And sometimes these recalls, I've looked at them as being just kind of frivolous, nothing serious. But airbags definitely serious. But it could be brakes, engine, all kinds of stuff. But they can't force auto owners to participate, even with dangerous problems. The NHTSA focuses on those areas proven to save lives and where we have the authority to take effective action, including finding vehicles' defects and insurance manufacturers launch recalls. A spokesman said the agency does not have statutory authority to force customers to fix their recalled vehicles. And it's caused, I guess, a problem. People have died from not taking them in. I give another story about a guy who was driving a Kia Soul, died in an accident because the airbag didn't deploy, or at least it was a contributing factor, probably. So after that accident, they recalled 411 Kias to check out their airbags. And 37% of the affected Kias still remain unfixed, 37%. Kia owners have received multiple notices. They get the recall, and 35% remain uncompleted, I guess, at this point. They don't require companies to distinguish the severity of the recall, like it's just a bolt that may cause an inconvenience versus an airbag that may cause a death. Recall notices based on the perception of risk, as when the images are shown, by the consumer. We look at it by risk. Like, that's not worth it. I've done that myself. I've looked at it and said, don't need to do that. Some recalls, I've always accused companies of having those recalls just to get you in the shop, so they can fix some little thing and then do an oil change and new brakes or something. Some automakers, though, have put out in their recalls, do not drive, or other warnings, because they don't want to be sued by something that goes wrong. I would assume they put the do not drive warnings on it. I think that's a good idea if it's serious enough. You don't want to do that if it's not serious, but if it's serious enough. They started looking at, the journalists, they got together, started looking at fatal crashes compiled by the traffic safety. And they found 60 cases from 2016 to 23 in which someone in the front seat died in a head-on collision where police said the airbag didn't deploy and similar vehicles had been recalled. They were able to check non-public data on those 49 cases, and a quarter of them were confirmed to be autos with open airbag recalls. They excluded where the person was unbelted, ejected. So I guess the airbag doesn't matter at that point. If you're unbelted, it's not part of the system. They threw another fact in here, which I kind of like. That is, people wearing seatbelts now, 90%. 90%. I'm surprised it's that high. I mean, I see people all the time not wearing seatbelts. Article talks about the growth of the airbags, how it's gone from very rudimentary to where now it's more sophisticated, more airbags, more sensors, more things. There's more things to break too. But I don't know how these car companies make money with all the class action lawsuits and all the stuff that goes on and everything they're responsible for. In November 23, Toyota agreed to settle a class action lawsuit and owners over the issue, airbags and all that, $78.5 million. And part of that settlement, $3.5 million, went for outreach to drivers to boost participation in Toyota's recall. The companies want to get them back. They don't want the headlines that somebody died in their car in a collision because an airbag didn't work. Which, they've put out the notices multiple times. There is a story about some companies have gone to door knocking to get the recalls. They're getting more aggressive. I guess the company's got a lot to lose. They want the cars back if they recall them. They took extra steps going to Facebook to get recalls, and those extra steps resulted in 90% of the vehicles being completed or not on the road anymore, but 90% now are complete that are still riding around. Which there's nothing I really recognize with those recalls, how much they're ignored. They are ignored. I've been one of them that have ignored them in the past. Never an airbag thing, nothing that serious, but I have ignored them. Smalley fraud I never got to, but let me take a phone call. You're on the air.
Real quick in your airbag scenario.
Yeah, man.
If I was an insurer like State Farm or something like that, and you were involved in an accident, and I found out that you did not have that airbag replaced, and it caused you to not be able to see where you're going, run over, hit my customer.
Yeah,
I'm going to sue you to the day.
Well, here's a problem. The recall goes out to the customer, right? But what if the car's changed hands 2 or 3 times? They're having a hard time finding out the current owner. What if they've moved? What if the address has changed? Your database may not be.
If complete. You know that airbag has not been replaced, and it's your due diligence.
Yeah,
as an owner of that vehicle in the contract you signed with the insurer.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that if you haven't taken care of it, yeah,
right, you're at fault. If it caused you to have an accident and hurt my client, I'm going to sue you to no end.
I would imagine
that's how it's going to work.
I imagine it'd be easy for those car companies. They have the VIN number, and they can always just check the database, see if the VIN number has had its airbag replaced.
Right.
They could.
I mean, there is some due diligence here. Responsibility of a customer or an owner of something.
Yeah. They could chase that down more easily than the car manufacturers.
Right.
Chasing it down. That's a little tougher for them.
I'm just trying to throw that in there because that's going to come to about.
Well, that affects all our insurances.
Right.
Because they're in that pool that we all join when we get insurance. We accept the losses of our neighbors. Makes our rate goes up. Our rates go up if the neighbor has losses and stuff. So
right. I mean, you can accuse the insurers of just being crooks and all, but there are reasons why that insurance just keeps going up and up. Just like you having a big hole in your sidewalk. and you don't fix it and somebody falls in it and hurts themselves, you're covered liability insurance.
Yeah, but why should we have to pay that? Yeah.
Right. Why shouldn't you just go and fix your hole and save that person from bodily injury? I'm just saying.
They don't, man. Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you too, bro.
I got to run, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And because I'm out of time, but that's okay. Life, Death, and the Law is up next, but I'll be back tomorrow. AM 560 KBLU.